Greetings. So my name is Robert Bogle, and we are going to be working with grade 5 standard maths.5.nbt 2.7, which is essentially using all four operations to work with decimals. Today, we're specifically focusing on subtracting decimals. So we're going in here and dealing with our E-norms first. Remember, all cameras will stay on. Your mics will stay muted unless I call on you, and you're going to raise your virtual hand if you have any questions or concerns. All right. So SWABOT. SWABOT is an I can statement, and this statement is going to be our guiding focus for getting through the actual lesson itself. So our SWABOT states use strategies to add and subtract numbers with decimals. So that's our whole focus, adding and subtracting decimals, but we're specifically going to center ourselves around subtracting. And our vocabulary, this helps us stay focused and stay centered. So we only got 4 words. Place value, which is the representation of how much something is worth in an individual place in a number. Decimals, which are parts of a whole, and the smallest part we're going to be working with are the hundredths place. Inverse, which means the opposite of any operation, and algorithm, which is the step-by-step procedure that you're going to follow in order to get something solved. So subtracting decimals. What you see on the screen is a screenshot that you'll be able to take and use as reference when we're actually going through this. But what we're going to do specifically is take that expression that we see on the screen. So we're going to take that expression that we see on the screen, 1/85 hundredths minus 35 hundredths. So let me open up my whiteboard and let's get to it. So again, we have 1/85 hundredths minus 35 hundredths. Now, first things first, we got to model the largest number. And the large number that we have is 1/85 hundredths. And we know it's the largest number because our digit in the ones place is 1 and it's greater than 0. So let's model that out. So we're going to start with modeling using a flat. And we use a flat because we have the smallest place value of 100 hundredths. So we're going to have 100 hundredths that makes 1 whole, and our 1 whole will be represented as a large flat square. Now our tenths, we have 8 tenths, and each tenth is going to be represented as a stick. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 tenths, and then we're left with the 5 hundredths that we're going to show in circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we have modeled on the screen 1/85 hundredths. Now, the beauty with subtracting and using models with subtracting is just taking away. So all we're going to do is take away 35 hundredths. Now, the great news, in addition to that just modeling, all you're going to do is take away the inverse of what you just put there. So now our inverse of these 5 hundredths with putting them there is now taking them away, the opposite of what we just did. So let's take away the 5 hundredths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that we've taken that away, we're left with the 3 tenths. Do the same thing. Take away the 3 tenths. 1, 2, 3. Leaving us with what was left over. And what we have left over is right here. So now all we're doing is rewriting what we have left over on the screen. So we know this 1 flat, as we stated earlier, represents 1 whole. And we know that these 5 sticks here represents 5 tenths. So now we have 5 tenths. Now, again, we had hundredths. Do we have any hundreds? We don't. So we put a number in its place to represent how much hundredths we have, which is 0. So now you know when you subtract using base 10 models, 1/85 hundredths, take away 35 hundredths, you're left with 1/50 hundredths, or 1/5 tenths. It's been fun, and I love that you were able to get something out of this. It's Mr. Bogle. I'll see you later.